Yavapai Broadcasting and the City of Cottonwood proudly present Inside Cottonwood, an inside look at the decisions and issues of the City of Cottonwood. Brought to you by Arizona Smile Designers.
Good day and welcome to Inside Cottonwood Parks and Recreation Edition. My name is Jason Little, Recreation Manager, and with me today I have Mr. Trevor Faust, the Fitness Center Supervisor for the Cottonwood Recreation Center. He recently took the position, I believe it was in August, wasn't it, Trevor?
It was the 13th.
Trevor, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Every time I bring someone new on the show, and I was hoping to get you on here in January, but we were pretty stacked. We had a human interest segment, and then we also had Ryan talking about everything that we did as far as renovations within the recreation center. So I'm about 30 days late getting you on here, but late's, I guess, later's better than, I don't know how you say it, but it's just good to have you here. And usually when I bring someone new on the show, I always like to have them give a brief history or talk about themselves. So like I said, if you're ready, we'll get started. And my first question for you would be, where did you grow up?
I grew up here in Cottonwood for a long, pretty much all my life. Just known the area. Yeah.
Well, I've known you for a long time too, and before you moved up here, you guys from Casa Grande, is that correct?
That's right, yeah.
That's very interesting. And so you've lived here for virtually most of your life? You moved up here when you were what, how old?
Two.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess you could say you pretty much lived here your whole life.
Yeah, 23 years, that's a long time.
Long time, that's for sure. And you recently took the new position, the Fitness Center Supervisor position that Heather held. And you've really transitioned seamlessly into it. We are continually getting compliments from people about how open you are and how you're always more than willing to go out of your way to help people. And as a manager, we like to hear that. So I'm happy that you do that. But I have to ask you a question. I don't know if I've ever asked you personally, but whatever got you interested in fitness?
That's a great question. I got started in fitness basically because I was unhappy with how I looked. And I wanted to change that. And I knew that fitness was the key.
And how old were you when you started this transformation?
I think I started getting interested in it back in 2008. And I was probably around 30 pounds overweight. I was over 30% body fat, and so I've come a long way since then. So
that's fantastic. I'm glad to hear that, and I'm sure you feel a lot better too.
I do. I feel great.
Yeah. Now, what motivates you in your desire to help others achieve their goals?
Just that. I had my own transformation, and how fitness made me feel after I was done. It just changed me as a person. It made me feel more confident in myself. It was just a great experience, and I wanted to share that with others.
That's fantastic. A lot of people, they attempt to do things on their own. They don't have a lot of information. They don't have a lot of the knowledge on how to be successful, and they get frustrated, and a lot of times they'll give up. I guess my question to you is, can you relate to those struggles, and what would you tell someone if they came to you and said, Trevor, I've been trying this now for 3 months. I'm getting so frustrated. I'm going to throw in the towel.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I can relate to them a lot in certain ways, and because I've been there. I've been through those struggles. I know how they're feeling. Most of the time, people's struggles are a bit different, because we're all individuals, so we all have our different struggles. And but for the most part, yeah, I can relate to that. And I would, just tell them that it's, consistency is key. When you fall down, you got to pick yourself back up, and that's what determines a successful person versus someone who's not successful.
And I think for those who haven't been to the recreation center, it's really important to point out, when you surround yourself with people in an environment like the recreation center, that also helps you succeed.
Definitely, yeah. Being around like-minded individuals, that's extremely important.
Now, it's probably easier for, I guess, those who are younger as opposed than those who are like my age. But what do you say to someone when they say, Trevor, I want to get in shape and as physically fit as possible as soon as I can? What do I do?
You know, I would begin by saying that's awesome, that's great. I'm happy that you have this drive. I want to, you know, shed a little reality though on this. Fitness isn't an instantaneous thing. It's something that you get over long term. Results, the best results are long-term results. So, like I said, it's consistency and a passion, and you got to learn how to prioritize fitness in your life. It needs to become part of who you are.
This question is on here, but I hear it frequently from people who are significantly older. What happens with the chemical makeup of the body that makes it harder to lose weight when you are older? Is it just the metabolism slowing down, or what is it? It's,
you know, there's, as we age, we all go through disuse of muscle. We become more sedentary. So we, essentially, it's muscle atrophy. So over time, we just don't get enough, provide enough resistance training to our bodies, so we start losing muscle tissue. So that affects our metabolism, slows down. So, you know, we eat more food, and you know, all those extra calories have to go somewhere. So, you know, it makes it more difficult. But, you know, I like to think of it as kind of like an onion. Fitness, there's good things about fitness, and as you keep on peeling away the layers, you kind of come back to it. You know, you'll weight train. We've all had that DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. You know, that soreness you get after you've done some resistance training or something. And really, what that is your body has to go through that to repair, to become stronger. And once you've done that, you're getting stronger. So I think that's an important concept for people to grasp.
For anyone of any age, can you just outline briefly a few realistic goals for someone looking to improve their overall fitness level?
Sure. I would definitely say look at fitness as something that needs to be started out slowly, progressive. When you're looking at setting, when you're setting goals, you want to set, you know, some short-term goals that coincide with your long-term goals. So for instance, if I want to lose 20 pounds in 20 weeks, I want to shoot for a pound per week, you know, and that's a steady, good, healthy fat loss. And, you know, if I'm meeting those goals, meeting those weekly goals, I'm going to eventually hit my long-term goal of 20 pounds. So start out slow and progressive and be consistent.
Now, when you talk to people, do you also bring in that third facet, the diet? Do you get that out on the table up front immediately, that it's not all about just being in the gym, it's also about what you're doing?
Definitely. You know, I like to say it's 100% effort inside the gym and 100% effort outside the gym. If you're not feeding your body correctly, you're only going to get minimal results. So a lot of people get the training down right, but outside of the gym, they're a mess. And so, you know, or, you know, they're outside the gym, they're good 100%, but in the gym, they're not. So, you know, it's both those worlds need to come together to kind of get come to a mutual agreement, and of course, with the result.
Now, Trevor, I've known you since you were about 10. To me, you were always fit for a child. Now, yeah. I mean, my definition of fit and yours might be considerably different. But have you always considered yourself physically fit?
You know, as a child, like you said, I was pretty active. As I got older, though, I started eating a lot more food, and one thing led to another. And you know, I wouldn't necessarily say I was like really overweight, but I was definitely not physically fit. So I haven't always been physically fit, and I think that it's hard for anyone who's in that situation to, you know, because it's a constant effort to stay fit, and it's a lifestyle. You got to practice it day in and day out.
When you first started, what was your goals? Your first goals?
My first goals were, to be honest, I wanted to track girls. I felt, you know, I wasn't confident. I didn't have very much self-confidence in who I was. So I really wanted to look good and feel good about myself. So I set a goal to kind of get lean. You know, I was like shooting for 6-7%. And setting those goals definitely helped me out in the long term. I think, especially, I set, you know, short-term goals for myself. And once I had lost, you know, 35, 40 pounds, I was set, man. I did great.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, Trevor, once again, I'd like to thank you for being here today. And let's take a quick break. When we come back, I'd like to talk briefly about your field of study, what you're doing currently, and I'd also like to talk about our big thing going on right now, and that's the Looking Good Cottonwood weight loss event that we do annually. So when we come back, guys, we're going to get back into it with Trevor, and we're going to be talking more about Trevor and how he's got to where he is today, and about inside the Looking Good Cottonwood program.
Hello everybody, I am Lou Ann Patterson. My family and I would like to welcome you to the Copper Star Indoor Shooting Range, Northern Arizona's premier shooting sports facility. We offer a 25-yard pistol range, a 50-yard archery range, and Arizona's only 100-yard indoor rifle range. In addition, we have a full-line gun shop as well as an archery pro shop. Come check us out. We're located at Highway 260 and Cherry Road, right next to Out of Africa. Looking forward to seeing you all.
Welcome back to Inside Cottonwood Parks and Recreation Edition. With us today we have Trevor Faust, the Fitness Center Supervisor for the City of Cottonwood. Trevor works at the Cottonwood Recreation Center from 9 to 6, Monday through Friday, if you're ever looking for someone to help you achieve your weight loss goals. Trevor, when we went to break, we were briefly talking about you, the process, just a little history about Trevor. And we have so much to cover. I wish we had an hour for this segment. Like I said, I wish I could have gotten you on last month, but that didn't work. But before we segue into the Looking Good Cottonwood program, can you tell us a little bit about your field of study and what you're currently studying and what you're hoping to attain?
Of course. I'm studying personal training right now. It's not just like taking a certification. It's an actual accredited college out of Kansas City, Missouri. It's called the Pinnacle Career Institute. And all my classes are held online. I've done everything from, studied everything from biomechanics, anatomy, physiology, to business management, cross-cultural communication. I mean, just lots of things. A lot of things that relate to fitness, like exercise prescription, basic nutritional classes, and so on, even into some sports nutrition. So basically that's what I'm studying right now. I'm in the middle of my externship. It's like an internship, but it's called an externship because we're doing it out of away from the college, and it's going great. I'm really enjoying it. Basically, we practice personal training skills such as taking BMI, you know, blood pressure and whatnot. We also challenge people in exercise form, you know, go around the gym, make sure people are doing, you know, exercising correctly so they're safe and doing things optimally for their health. And so that's, yeah.
That's fantastic. And you briefly mentioned it, but you didn't hit it exactly. we, the entire department, has a special date coming up. Like you said, you leave for March for a week, but the end is near. The finish line's how many months away?
Just about a month away. Yeah, I graduate in in March, the 13th actually of March, right when I hit my 6th month for this position. So I'm pretty excited.
We all are.
Yeah.
It's been a long road, that's for sure.
Definitely. It's a 2-year degree in 18 months, so it's been a long, hard haul.
What are you going to do when you have all that extra time on your hands?
Start studying more, man. I'm ambitious. I'm always wanting to challenge myself and make myself a better person every day. So
that's great. That's fantastic. Trevor, this program initially started when I was conferring with Heather about. I got sucked into watching The Biggest Loser on TV, and that's where it started. And I knew that we would never have something like that, but I thought, from the perspective of overall community health, it would be good to start something. Now in its 3rd year, it's the Looking Good Cottonwood event. What's your take on entertainment shows such as The Biggest Loser?
To be honest with you, I'll say it outright. I don't like them. I think they provide people with a false hope of attaining certain weight loss goals, and it's just a bad. I just don't like it. It's a bad example for fitness.
So what we kind of did is we just took that concept and we kind of manipulated and massaged our current product, and that's the Looking Good Cottonwood program.
Exactly. So
when did the program officially kick off?
It officially kicked off January 21st. That was a Monday, and it's been going on since then.
Well, this was a pretty big week because everyone's still really jazzed and they're energized through week 1.
Right.
Now, did you guys have your first week weigh-ins this week?
Not this week. We had first week weigh-ins on Monday, the 21st.
I mean, no, their first weigh-in after the initial.
Oh, initial, yeah. Yes, we did. Wednesday was our first one after the initial weigh-in.
Now, I know you can't give names, but what was the most amount of weight lost in 1 week?
I think 16 pounds, which is pretty crazy.
16 pounds. Oh, wow. That's incredible. 16 pounds.
Yeah.
Wow, that's something else. Okay, what was the cost of the program? What did you charge people to sign up this year?
For members of the Cottonwood Recreation Center, it was $15. For non-members, it's $30.
Really? So the program's 15 weeks or 16 weeks? Or?
It's actually about 13 and a half weeks.
So say 14 weeks.
Yeah.
So for $1.10,
yeah,
roughly.
It's a great price.
That is a great price.
It's a steal of a deal.
Now, you said the initial weigh-in was January 21st.
Correct.
And how many people weighed in on the 21st?
We had actually around 200 or so come in and weigh in on the 21st.
That's great. I know you were very into that, and you were there, and you were very you were helping and assisting and more or less running the whole show,
right?
Directing people to do certain things. What kind of measurements did you guys take during the first weigh-in day?
Well, we kind of had them come in. We took a before picture, and then they came over, did some weigh-ins with me, and then off to the side we had some fitness attendants do some BMI readings and then some blood pressure.
That's great. And were people pleased with that?
Definitely, yeah.
That's great. Another question I had is, you don't want to make it a workout, you want to make it a lifestyle.
Right, right.
Do you get a lot of returning people for this program, or do you see a lot of new faces? I know that you saw the previous year's records, but did you recognize a lot of similar names, or do you see a lot of new faces?
Well, I think we got a good combination of both. I would probably venture a 50-50. Mm-hmm. We got, a lot of new people coming into the program, and then I also think we have got a lot of people who've been there since the beginning. You may lose 20 pounds in the first one, but say you have 60 or so to lose, you may not lose it in that period of time. So I think we just have returning people, and maybe even people who haven't, confirmed or started an exact regimen for themselves and maybe have gained some pounds back. And so we hope to, in the future, we hope to help them establish good lifestyle behaviors.
And before I get to my next question, who's the primary sponsor for this event?
VVMC, Verde Valley Medical Center. They've been great. They've been sponsoring us with money, of course, and then with seminars, and we've had 2 already. So yeah.
That's great, and they really stand behind this, and they've supported, I guess, from its inception.
Definitely, we've had a great working relationship with Verde Valley Medical Center.
Yeah, that's great that they really stepped up. I mean, it benefits everyone.
It does.
That's great. You say $15, or you say even $30. That's a nominal fee in and of itself, but what else do you receive with your registration fee?
We actually have a lot of things that are involved in the program. We've got our exercise classes with a few of our trainers, subcontractors, and Lori is one of them. She does a Fat Blast class on Monday, and it's been going great. We've had, I think, on average 18-20 people so far for her class. And then on Friday we have Carrie Hecht, who's a personal trainer, and she does a kind of like a Zumba class, or kind of slash whatever she feels is necessary, and she's had great turnouts too. That's
great. Once again, Jason Little, Recreation Manager with the City of Cottonwood, here with Trevor Faust, the Fitness Center Supervisor, and today we're discussing Trevor Faust and the program Looking Good Cottonwood, and we'll be back after the break.
Having a fire escape plan is very important to keep your family safe and together in the event of a fire. When you awake to the sound of a smoke detector and smoke in your room, don't stand straight up. Carefully roll off your bed and stay low under the smoke. If your door is shut, feel the door with the back of your hand. Slowly open the door if no heat is felt. Always stay low until you get to the outside of your home. Always have 2 ways out of your house and a specified meeting place somewhere outside your home. Home escape plans should be drawn up and rehearsed on a regular basis. This could be the difference between life and death if caught in a fire.
Welcome back to Inside Cottonwood Parks and Recreation Edition, the show that keeps you in the know of everything happening here in your community in the Verde Valley. With me today I have Mr. Trevor Faust, the Fitness Center Supervisor for the City of Cottonwood, and we're talking about weight loss and looking good Cottonwood. Welcome, Trevor, again.
Thank you.
Trevor, this is our last segment, and like I said, we got 20 questions. I wish we could make this a longer show, but we'll get you back on here maybe at the conclusion of the program with the winners.
That'd be great.
I had some more questions. We've talked about the hospital and how they are instrumental in making this happen. I mean, with the seed money that they donated and with the speakers and how heavily involved they are.
Right.
Who else is involved?
We've got Yavapai County. They're involved. We've been working with them. They're going to be providing some of our seminars as well. And then they'll be working with me with the hikes, part of something that's part of the program that we offer.
We didn't get into it. You briefly mentioned the Zumba Express and the fat blasting class.
Right.
But one of the unique facets, and one thing I would definitely take advantage of if I were in the program, you do something with a running class, or what's that all about?
We have the walking running clinic with Mike Allen from Verde Valley Running. He's great. He works with you kind of based on your fitness level. He teaches you proper heel-to running techniques. He's just really good, and the benefits of going to this is, running can be a high impact exercise. So people who may not know how to run properly can get a benefit out of it by reducing the amount of impact and inflammation that can be caused from running long distances or whatnot. So it's definitely beneficial.
I'm noted for doing this to guess, but it's not on. It's nothing that's been scripted or anything. But what is heel-to-toe running?
Well, basically, it's a stride that you gotta. It's a technique that you gotta develop. A lot of people don't run properly. They may run off side or heel, which can kind of develop like a shin splint or something. Very unpleasant experience. So proper running techniques will help deter that.
So is it heel-toe?
Right, exactly. It's you stride, you push off. And then you have your gait where you're pushing, and then you heel to toe. Okay. And that's a proper running technique. That's
great knowledge right there. I've never really critiqued how I jog around on the treadmill and outside, so I'm going to start paying more closer attention to that.
Yeah.
You mentioned seminars. I know the hospital really helps out with the seminars.
Yeah.
When are they held?
Usually on Tuesdays from 5:30 to 6. We'll be having some on Thursdays as well. That's when they're held.
That's great. And I know we always shoot for 8, 9, something like that seminars. Is that what they're going to get this year as well?
Yeah, definitely. We're probably going to get around 8 this year. I've even looked into doing something myself in the future, so the participants may get a little treat. So we'll see what happens. And but yeah, Verde Valley Medical Center and Yavapai County will be providing most of the seminars for us.
That's great. I know Dr. Brad Williams, he gave a great session on sports medicine and staying healthy. What can you tell us about John Cooks on working out smart and avoiding injury?
He was great. He really just the whole thing with exercise is people get caught up in the details, the minor details that just don't really matter, like exercise prescription, what exercise to do first, is this exercise better than the next one, and really those things don't matter as much as actually getting in and doing something that you enjoy. Fitness is supposed to be something fun. It's supposed to be something that makes you feel good. He went into how to reduce, injury during exercise, and basically he's like, be aware of your body. You don't want to push yourself too far. You know better than anyone about how far to push yourself. So be aware of your body and know where it's at. And if it hurts in a certain range of motion, stop and shorten that range up. Be aware and know where your body is.
I guess the other question I have for you, it's kind of on a different subject. Our overall goal is for people to lose weight, get healthy, and create, a healthy lifestyle.
Right.
But I also understand there's some incentive.
That's right.
To losing some weight in this program.
Definitely.
Can you go into prize money and categories that prize money is awarded in?
Of course. We've got 2 different categories. We've got a male category and a female category. Each first place prize is worth $2,000 for both categories, and then we've got a second place prize that's worth $500, and then third place this year, which we haven't done in the past, but that's worth $250.
Wow.
So yeah, and we forgot to mention as well, we got a group prize as well, worth $500, and I think we've got 12 groups this year.
I guess if you're one of those people competing for the money, what kind of thought processes are key in achieving those goals?
I think you gotta approach it with a go-getter attitude. You gotta, make sure you're...
How do you handle that person as opposed to the one who comes to you and says, I just want to lose 20 pounds? Like if they come to you for advice, how are you assisting this person as opposed to this person?
That's a great question. you just try to be a positive person in their life, you know, point them in the right directions, try to relate to their struggles and tell them that you can achieve this. If you put your heart and mind into it, and you're passionate about it, you're serious about it, you got it made. You just got to, you know, put the work into it and the results will come later.
When someone comes to you and they says, let's say they lost 15 pounds in a week, does that ever concern you? Are you like, well, how'd you do it? I mean, do you ever?
It does concern me. For the first week, you're always going to lose weight, the most weight, just because you lose a lot of water weight and a lot of muscle glycogen you're using up. So you do lose a lot more weight the first week. It does concern me a little bit. Healthy fat loss is between 1 and 3 pounds a week. I don't necessarily say that you should go further than that. I believe slow fat loss results are the long-term lasting. So it's important to kind of think that. But it is a competition, and people are competitive, and they will push themselves very hard.
That's right, and I see it.
Yeah.
You see it out there when you're watching.
We do.
You can tell who's in the program and who's just out there, you know.
That's
using the
right.
facility. That's for sure. Well, Trevor, I can't thank you enough for being here.
Thank you.
Quickly wrapped up our 30 minutes, and I still have 1, 2, 3. I still had 7 questions to ask you. So, like I said, I'll hold those until April, and hopefully, maybe we can get you on here with the winners of this year's show, and you can interview them as to how they did it and what were some of the hurdles they had to overcome and various things like that.
Yeah, that would be great.
Once again, thanks for being here, Trevor, and for all of you who have not been to the Recreation Center, please drop in, check the facility out, and say hello to Trevor Faust, the new Fitness Center Supervisor. Always more than happy to talk to anyone.
Always.
Thanks for tuning in.